What's up, everybody? Welcome to the JunkieXperience YouTube channel, where we're going to take a deep dive into some of our favorite movies. And I am your host, or whatever you want to call me. I'm going to be the one delivering this information to you. We're going to have some fun. We're going to learn some things that we didn't already know. So just stay tuned and let's see what we're going to be talking about today. So guys, today we're going to be getting into House Party. I mean, who doesn't know about House Party, the 1990 coming-of-age cult classic that starred hip-hop duo at the time, like superstar hip-hop duo at the time, Kid and Play. And it was directed by Reginald Hudlin. So we're going to take a deep dive into that. Not really too deep. Not like, I don't want to say a deep dive, but what we're going to do, we're going to like go into like some of the top 10 facts that I didn't know, until I started doing my research, and I know you probably didn't know. So let's get into it. Let's talk about a little bit of House Party. So I was a kid when House Party first dropped, and when I tell you, when it drops, baby, it drops. So it was like around 1990, like I said before. I think I was still in elementary school at the time, and my dad wasn't the type to take us to see the movies and things like that. Like, we just had to, wait for it to come out on video, because back then, VHS was the thing or whatever. So we had to wait for it to come out on video. But a lot of my friends did get a chance to go and actually see it in the movie theater. So they would come back and be quoting like all these things or whatever. And, there's like all the little clips and stuff, all the little popular sayings from the movie and things like that. So, I felt out of place, but eventually I got a chance to see it. Now, the way the video stores were set up back then, I know Gen Z don't know nothing about this, but the way the video stores were set up back then, like, they would get like a certain amount of movies in, and then, we'll go and check them out. But I'm telling you, House Party was flying off the shelves. But that's neither here nor there. Let's get into it. So let's get into this top 10 about House Party, the 1990 cult classic. Let's get into it. So number 10, Reginald Hudlin wrote this movie back in the 1980s when he was just chilling at Harvard and doing his thing and, writing. So he wrote it as a short film. Like, it was first a short film, and then it turned into, the full-length movie that we all know and love. And he said he got his inspiration for this movie, and he wanted to do this movie after he heard Luther Vandross belting out his 1982 hit Bad Boy Having a Party. And if you know, like if you watch the movie, you know that that is the song that kind of takes us out like toward the end credits or whatever, like Bad Boy, do 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 dee dee, oh yeah, shoo do 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 do. Y'all know I can't sing, but I gave it a try anyway. So number 9, Play, who was 28 at the time, was not excited about doing this movie when he and Kid were first approached by the Hudlin brothers. And he said in a recent interview, I think it was a few years ago, that he did with Vlad TV, he said that the reason he wasn't that excited about it was because of the failure of Run DMC's Tougher Than Leather. So I've never seen this Run DMC movie, Tougher Than Leather, but that's why Play said that he wasn't really excited about doing a movie like that. He said he just didn't see that for his career. They were into the rap thing or whatever. He just didn't see that for them. But it definitely took another turn, and it was definitely a success for him. Because he talked about like a lot of different movies like Crush Groove and some of the other like Fat Boys movies and stuff like that. Now, truthfully, I haven't like really seen that, but with doing this series that I'm doing, or doing this channel, or being on this channel, I'm definitely going to be checking those out. So number 8, let's get into it. The next fact is that House Party introduced us to some major stars that became future stars, like Martin Lawrence, who played Bilal, and Tisha Campbell, who played Kid's girlfriend Sydney. And we all know that they went on to star in the hit TV series Martin, that was like a huge, phenomenal hit. So yeah, definitely introduced us to some stars. Number 7. So Kid Play and Martin, and I just recently learned this. So Kid who is Christopher Reid, Play who is Christopher Martin, and Martin Lawrence all worked at the Sears Roebuck building in Queens, New York. But Play didn't meet Martin until he was cast in the movie. Didn't meet him until he got in House Party, child. And I mean, and Sears Roebuck, I mean, you know, a lot of the young kids, I know y'all don't know what Sears Roebuck is, but you know, Sears was like this big department store or whatever. So they actually worked in a call center there. And I also think that I also read that Salt and Pepper also worked there. So that was like a little cool fact that I really didn't know about. So now let's move on to the next one. And house parties, the actual house party scene in House Party was filmed in Play's real life house. So all the partying that was going on or whatever, that was actually Play's house. And you know, I wonder if the toilet really got broke. I'm like, because I remember that scene. Oh my goodness. Like when he went in there and he started like fidgeting around with that toilet handle or whatever to flush it and nothing would happen. Yeah, that was, I feel bad for my boy at that point. But yeah, that movie was filmed at his real life house. So next up, there was only, and this really shocked me because I didn't know this at first. But guys, check this out. There was only a 10-year gap, a 10-year age gap between Christopher Reid, who was 26 at the time that this movie was filmed, and comedian Robin Harris, who played his father, and he was only 36 at the time that this movie was filmed. And I did not know that Robin Harris was like only 10 years older than Kid, but he was like playing his dad or whatever. That was like so wild to me that you know, they would do it like that. But I mean, it worked out. It definitely worked. You know, Kid looked super young for his age, and you know, Robin, God rest his soul, he looked more mature for his age. So you know, it's a win-win for everybody. And speaking of comedian Robin Harris, so we know, you know, sadly, he did pass away. He played Kid's overbearing father that was like super duper strict. I mean, the boy couldn't do nothing, couldn't leave the house, couldn't do nothing, honey. But unfortunately, you know, Robin Harris's career was short-lived. He's passed away suddenly from a heart attack, and he passed away like 9 days after the movie was released, which was just, you know, really, really sad. And, you know, we felt like, you know, he was going to go far in his career, but that did happen. Next fact, also featured in the movie was Daryl Chill Mitchell, who most recently is known for starring in NCIS's, well, I think it's NCIS New Orleans now. That show, I think, was on for like 7 seasons, and it was recently canceled. But I remember first seeing Daryl Chill Mitchell in House Party. He was like the goofy friend with the black hat or whatever, and you know, just always, you know, running off at the mouth or whatnot. But yeah, he was on here, and he was involved. Chill was involved in a motorcycle crash in South Carolina back in 2001 that left him paralyzed from the waist down. But he didn't let that stop him. He kept on working. Looks like he's, you know, definitely doing well. Like I said, he had a great career after the House Party movie, and also after that horrific motorcycle crash. So, you know, he's making the best out of his situation, and I mean, he looks great and he's doing great. So big ups to him. Next fact. So now we're back to like the not so sad stuff. So this was something that I did not know as well. So the popular dance battle, which was like my favorite scene in that movie. I mean, not only mine, I'm pretty sure it was a whole bunch of other people's favorite scene in the movie. But the popular dance battle between Tisha, who played Sydney, Tisha Campbell that played Sydney, AJ Johnson who played Shireen, and of course Kid and Play, was not originally written in the script. So in an interview a few years ago, AJ Johnson mentioned that she approached Reginald Hudlin, the director, writer and director of this movie, and she told him that she felt like a dance battle, like this movie actually needed a dance battle. So they made it work. And like I said, it was not anything that they did. I mean, it was almost like a whole little freestyle thing. I know that she and Tisha Campbell were like good friends. I think they auditioned for the movie together and everything. So they were good friends before the movie, and they auditioned together. And Kid and Play ended up just doing some things, because I think they had just like went on tour, or they were going on tour and things like that. So they were using like some of their moves, like when you see like the whole foot thing or whatever, and y'all know, if you've seen House Party, you know what I mean by the foot thing, the foot movements or whatnot. So they chose that. They just did that whole routine. So it wasn't anything. And I mean, and it looked so good, and it just came together so well, because I actually watched it right before I recorded this, and I just think it came together so well, and it held up really good over the years. And another little quick fact was that Tisha and AJ Johnson recently, so back in 2015, Alicia Keys threw this house party themed house party, and you know, where everybody dressed up in like, you know, the 1990s gear and stuff like that. And AJ, and from what I read, AJ and Tisha Campbell actually got on the floor and actually recreated those dance moves that they did. And I was just like, oh my God, that was just so dope to know. And the number one fact behind the House Party movie that I did not know, and I learned while I was doing research, like I've been mentioning, I know I probably said that 100 times, but y'all gotta bear with me, this is my first video, that DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, who aka superstar Will Smith, were almost cast as the stars of House Party. Know that at all. So this is what happened. So apparently they were almost cast as the stars of House Party after they lost a lawsuit to New Line Cinema, who actually produced House Party. So DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince were sued for copyright infringement on their song Nightmare on My Street, because you know, New Line Cinema, Nightmare on Elm Street, so New Line Cinema felt like Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince had, you know, committed copyright infringement. And I guess the judge felt that way too, because he ruled in favor of New Line Cinema. So within that lawsuit, one of the conditions in the lawsuit was that Will and Jazzy Jeff would appear in a New Line Cinema film. But you know, I guess, and they didn't want to do this movie. They just didn't want to do it. And Reginald Hudlin didn't want them to do it either, because he had been courting Kid and Play for years. And like I said, Play wasn't really excited about it, but you know, they made it happen and they did what they had to do. But that was just weird to me. Like, that was definitely a fact that I didn't know, that Will Smith and Jazzy Jeff were going to be, or were slated to be, like the stars, or were almost the stars of House Party. So guys, those were the fun facts of the 1990 cult classic comedy House Party. And I just want to thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching this YouTube channel. There are going to be many, many more to come. Make sure you stay tuned in. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. And also make sure that you follow me on all social media at JunkieXperience. Also, make sure that you visit JunkieXperience.com for the latest in celebrity news, movie news, and everything. So just make sure you follow us. And until next time, bye, junkies.